What's up, guys?
What's up, June?
Hello to Scott and to Joe AP. I kind of abbreviated my welcome this week because I'm tired of waiting for you guys to say what's up. So now you're just one person. It's going to be what's up, guys.
And then we got to make sure see who can get our name in first. Like, hey, June.
Hey, June.
Yes.
All right. We cool.
In the interest of mixing things up and watching you guys scramble for dear life, I'm gonna no, that's not true. It's a hello, Scott and Joe AP, as always. But again, welcome back as we revisit this movie, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
It's a very simple plot. It's not like I think this. You can do a synopsis of this in 2 sentences. You know, Pee-wee's bike is missing. He goes to find it. The end.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we can go straight to how good was it?
Okay, no.
That takes care of this episode. Tune in next time. No, I mean, should we dive into the plot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything that we should go over? Any facts and figures? Considering,
let's go with it.
Okay.
I think we kind of did a lot of facts and figures the first half of the the episode in a way. I think we got the date and we talked about some of the cast.
It was 95, wasn't it? Right? I think.
No, 95?
It is 86.
I think it was 86.
86.
Maybe we need 95. To go over the facts because I've already forgot them as well.
Okay, 86. I'll take
85. Yeah, Joe was wrong as well. So 85.
Gotcha.
My bad, folks.
Yeah.
I was gonna point out there's some cool names in these characters in this movie. I like couple of those names that
like the characters' names.
Yeah, characters' name. Yeah.
Well, such as who?
Like Large Marge.
Large Marge is a good name. You know, we talked about Large Marge a lot before this episode, and I kind of remember the scene now after seeing it, but she was in the movie for a minute and
5
half.
minutes.
No, I don't think she was 5 minutes. It was just a short truck ride.
Scene. It was
and then that was it.
Yeah, she didn't need to be in it much longer than that. She served her purpose, man.
Yeah.
That was one of the most memorable scenes in this movie.
Right.
And I actually forgot about quite a few of those faces that as far as the cast.
Yeah.
Little cameos here and there. I forgot about that stuff. But let's jump in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, no. So you forgot about Twisted Sister in it? Because I definitely forgot that Twisted Sister was in this movie.
I forgot, but damn, I didn't giggle my ass off. I love that scene because the song they're singing, "You're gonna burn in hell." I was like, I remember watching that as a kid, and I would scream with laughter because it was such. Well, I guess that was the point of that scene they probably picked their most decadent song for it to do in this movie because it was a play against the movie itself, but we'll get into that.
Okay.
Let's just go into the plot then, man. I mean, the movie starts with we see it's sort of like a day in the life of Pee Wee Herman, isn't it? It just
it does not start there. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
it starts with him riding in the Tour de France.
Well, I was going to say this is a day in the life of Pee. This is a normal day for Pee Wee Herman.
It's his dream. No, it's not normal. It starts with a dream.
Yes, it does. Pee Wee Herman is running and wins the Tour de France, and that was the cheapest looking Tour de France ever. But of course,
it was like a dozen people at the finish line.
Yes,
it was there was nobody there.
Yes, but it got a fake Eiffel Tower in the back. But it is a dream, and that's how we start off this movie. And we hear Pee Wee's alarm go off, waking him up, and that's when we get an insight into this character's personal life. I mean, the decor of his house, the way everything is set up is just, again, Pee Wee is basically a 12-year-old boy. Mentally. That's
it was
what
kind of like the Goonies too, right? He had all things set up to make life easier, like something to make his toast and crack his eggs. And it was almost like the episode of Goonies where they have all these little contraptions, which came out the same year as this movie. I wonder which one came out first or if they were inspired by each other. But yeah, tons of like contraptions to make things easier that really aren't working right. There's pancakes are getting flipped up and landing on the ceiling.
Yeah, it's sticking to the ceiling.
Yeah, it shows like he's a 12 years old engineer.
Yeah.
He have good idea, but there's a little quirky part of it that is not well thought out.
How do you think he ended up in this situation? Did his parents die and leave? I think he should have a legal guardian, right? He's he's not. I don't think he's really able to take care of himself.
Interestingly enough, yes, there are many inquiring minds, such as yourself, Scott. I read in an article the other day in doing some research for this movie, and people were asking, "Well, how does he make a living?"
Did you Google is Pee-wee autistic? Is that what you Google?
I think he created a patent. He had some designs patent that
he thinks so. He's an inventor.
Royalties, yes.
Well, that was the theory in a lot of people's heads. Is that like we got some insight into some of his genius, if you want to call it that, and these contraptions that he builds, and they were saying that that's probably how he makes a living. He invents stuff for people or for whoever may be interested in.
And I'm sure he
paid for it.
He invented the bike, right? He created that bike himself.
They didn't say in the movie.
I would assume.
No,
but so that would be a good assumption that he.
I don't see him selling any. I don't see him doing any kind of work. I just see him playing. I didn't see him eat. He had a whole plate full of food, took one bite, and then just like tossed it out.
I love that. All that drama to make breakfast, right? Like it was a whole procedure with this contraption, whatever. He makes his breakfast talk to him, and he just pours like Mr. T cereal, and a big promotion for Mr. T at the time, and just pours it, and he literally takes 2 bites. He takes 2 kernels of the cereal, and that's his breakfast, and I love that. I love that.
Did he say? Did he do a Mr. T line too? Did he do?
Yes, he did.
Pity the Fool, or what did he do?
Yes, he did.
Right?
His breakfast in the
it was the cereal box. Yes,
it was his face. His breakfast with the pancake, and the pancake had bacon lips. And the bacon talk.
Had
to him. Can I have some of your Mr. T's? You sure can. And he was like, and then he
I pity the fool.
Line. I pity the fool.
Okay.
Yeah, brilliant.
That was good.
Love it. A great insight into Pee Wee Herman's or this character's life. I hope.
Yeah, if you saw him in real life, you'd like, who's this psychopath living there? Make sure we don't put kids near him. Let's lock this guy up.
He'd have flaming crosses and pitchforks on him. Crazy. But yeah, we get a little view into how Pee Wee Herman starts his day, and from there, and what I did like they showed, there was when he leaves his house for the morning, he goes outside and he says hello to his neighbor. So you see how his neighbors treat. Obviously, he's loved in this community. You know what I'm saying?
But didn't he like set off like a sprinkler or something? Do something like
water the lawn.
Yeah.
So he's letting his neighbor know that he's going to water the lawn. But June was saying the neighbor very appreciative of who he is.
He's like, okay, people. He just shuts it.
This psycho who's spraying his house with water.
Yes.
Joe, if you lived next door to this guy, your life would be miserable.
I don't know. I think
that'd go for anybody.
I think it would be fun to have a guy like that, homeless,
I think it'd be fun for like a day, and then after that, like you're calling homeowners association or whatever.
We gotta take care of this one.